Hi, I'm Karen Quinn, the Testing Mom. Today I want to talk with you about how to prepare your child for the pattern block subtest that's on tests like the WPPSI, the ERB, the WISC, the Stanford Binet, and other IQ tests. If your child is taking a visual spatial reasoning test like the NNAT2, the activities I'm going to talk about will be great for building the skills needed for that type of test as well. Now, let me show you that the way that these pattern block tests work is that kids are given three-dimensional blocks that are either solid or they are printed with a diagonal. And they're shown a pattern that they need to recreate using these blocks. Now, you can actually buy blocks that are almost identical to what's used on the test. I personally do not recommend that you do that, because if the psychologist feels that the child has worked with actual materials from a test, he or she can be disqualified. These blocks are so similar to what is actually on the test that it would be hard for you to argue that they weren't exposed to something that really was on the test. So what we're going to suggest that you do to prepare your child is to work with materials that teach your child the underlying skill of reproducing patterns, but by using different materials. This way, when they see the blocks for the very first time, they'll know how to do what they're being asked to do, but they won't have ever used the blocks before, so it will still be a new material, a new experience, and it'll be challenging for them, but they will know what to do. At testingmom.com, we have two tools to help you do this. Top 1% members have access to our Space Baby Puzzles game. Here, your child can use the computer or iPad to match blue and white tile patterns to create larger overall patterns. You can choose patterns at different levels of difficulty for a child to recreate: easy, medium, or hard. Space babies appear and make happy noises when your child gets a pattern tile right, and sad noises when he or she makes a mistake. To make the puzzles easier for your child, keep the lines on that distinguish what each tile looks like. To make the pattern tiles harder, turn the lines off and the patterns become much more challenging for your child to copy. There are over 8,000 different patterns that your child can recreate using Space Baby puzzles. At testingmom.com, we also have printable pattern tiles that use 6 different patterns instead of the 3 patterns that are used on the actual test. And what's nice about these is you just print them out, use a glue stick, and put them on cardboard, and then cut them out. And when you do, you have all different pattern tiles. Okay, so these are, we talked about these before, these are pattern tiles that you just print right off the Testing Mom website, and you glue them to a piece of cardboard, and when you do, you cut them out and you'll have little pattern tiles that look like this. Here are some that look like that. And then you can print right off the Testing Mom website, you can print some patterns that you want your child to recreate using the tiles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recreate this pattern right here, and it looks like this. So your child, you want them to use these pattern tiles and recreate the pattern. Looks like this one. And when your child is recreating patterns, it's very, very important that they be neat, because neatness does count. They have to put the tiles in the right place, and you also want them to work fast because this particular subtest is timed, but when you first start, you just want them to get it right. So just focus on making sure that they are really copying the patterns that you see there. And if you're working with our online game, our online Space Baby puzzle game, I still want you to work with the physical tiles, and that's just because these take different fine motor skills than is required with an online game. So you want to work with the online game. That'll really help your child learn how to recreate designs, but working with the pattern tiles is really good for building those fine motor skills of putting the tiles in the right places. And that's all you have to do. Between the Space Babies, puzzles, and the printable pattern tiles that are on testingmom.com, your child will be in great shape to tackle any block design or visual spatial reasoning test that is in her future.